Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And in today's episode, we're going to dive into a pretty critical aspect of the divorce proceedings, and that is evaluating defined benefits plans. Now, divorce, as we all know, is undoubtedly one of life's most challenging experiences, often accompanied by complex financial decisions. Among these, evaluating defined benefit plans stands probably pretty close to the top when looking towards achieving a fair and equitable divorce settlement. First, let's understand what a defined benefit plan is. It's also known as a pension plan. It's an employer-sponsored plan where the employer promises to, pay a specified monthly benefit at retirement. This benefit is often based on factors like salary history and years of service. So when it comes to divorce, the value of a defined benefit plan, well, that becomes part of the marital asset subject to division in many cases. Now, how do you go about evaluating it, though, is a whole nother story. The most common method is the present value approach, which calculates the current worth of the future benefits the plan will provide. This involves projecting the future payments, discounting them to present value, and considering factors like life expectancy and inflation. However, assessing a defined benefit plan's value isn't a one-size-fits-all process. It requires actually very careful consideration on various factors, and that includes the plan's vesting schedule, the status of that schedule, the age of the participant, and the availability of survivor benefits. Moreover, it's essential to understand the differences between separate and marital portions of the plan. The marital portion typically includes contributions made and benefits accrued during the marriage, while the separate portion may encompass contributions and benefits predating the marriage. Another important aspect to consider is a qualified domestic relations order. This legal document outlines how the benefits will be divided between spouses and ensures compliance with the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, or ERISA. In negotiating the division of a defined benefit plan, it's vital to seek the guidance of financial and legal professionals. Definitely ones who have divorce experience, because it's very complicated. They can provide valuable insights into the tax implications, potential survivor benefits, and long-term financial implications of various settlement options. Ultimately, evaluating a defined benefit plan requires thorough analysis and careful consideration of the unique circumstances surrounding each divorce case. As we conclude today's episode, remember that divorce, is a challenging journey. But with informed decision-making and professional guidance from a divorce attorney, financial advisor, tax accountant, you can navigate its complexities and secure a brighter financial future. I want to thank you for listening into this episode of Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to contact me using the information in the description. Happy to help. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And until next time, take care. Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And now today's episode, we're going to explore a critical aspect of divorce proceedings if you have children, and that is the duration of child support obligations. Now, divorce, as we all know, is a challenging process, particularly when children are involved. Determining child support obligations is not only a legal requirement, but also a deeply personal and often emotional aspect of divorce. One of the most common questions that arise during divorce proceedings is, how long does child support last? Well, really, the duration of child support varies, and it's going to depend on several factors, including state laws, child's age, and sometimes even the child's education pursuits. In many jurisdictions, child support typically lasts until the child reaches the age of majority, which is usually 18 years old. However, states vary, so you're going to want to verify that. Now, there are exceptions as well, and you're going to want to look into those in case that's necessary for your child. And for instance, let me give you an example. If the child is still in high school upon turning 18, child support may continue until the child graduates or reaches the age of 19, whichever comes first. This extension aims to support the child's educational needs during their transition to adulthood. In cases where the child has special needs or disabilities that prevent them from becoming financially independent, child support obligations may extend beyond the age of majority. Courts often consider the child's unique circumstances and may order ongoing support to ensure their well-being and quality of life. It is important to note that child support obligations are legally binding and enforceable by law. Failure to comply with the court-ordered child support payments can result in severe consequences, including wage garnishment, suspension of driver's licenses, and even imprisonment in extreme cases. Now, additionally, child support arrangements can be modified if there is a significant change in circumstances, such as a change in income or the child's needs. It's essential for divorced parents to communicate openly and work together to ensure that child support arrangements remain fair and equitable over time. Ultimately, the goal of child support is to prioritize the best interest of the child, ensuring they have the financial support they need to thrive and succeed, even in the midst of a divorce and family upheaval. As we conclude today's episode, remember that navigating child support obligations during divorce requires patience, empathy, and a commitment to prioritizing the well-being of your children above all else. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, I'm happy to help. My contact information is in the description. Please reach out. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, I bid you a good day. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's episode, we're going to look into a critical scenario that often arises during divorce proceedings. What happens if one spouse liquidates a retirement account after filing for divorce? Now, I don't need to tell you that divorce is a complex and emotionally charged process, and it's often accompanied by financial decisions that can have long-lasting implications for both parties involved. When it comes to retirement accounts such as 401ks, IRAs, and pensions, they are typically considered marital assets subject to equitable distribution in divorce proceedings. If one spouse chooses to liquidate a retirement account after filing for divorce without the consent of the other spouse or approval from the court, it can have significant legal and financial consequences. Now, to start with, liquidating a retirement account without proper authorization may constitute a violation of the automatic temporary restraining orders that are often issued upon the filing of divorce papers. These orders prohibit both spouses from making significant financial transactions without mutual consent or court approval. Second, the act of liquidating a retirement account can impact the overall distribution of marital assets during the divorce proceedings. The funds withdrawn from the account may be considered part of the marital estate, subject to division between the spouses. Moreover, withdrawing funds from a retirement account before reaching retirement age may result in tax consequences and early withdrawal penalties imposed by the IRS. These taxes and penalties can significantly reduce the amount of funds available for the distribution between the spouses. In addition to that, the financial implications The unilateral liquidation of retirement account can erode trust and complicate negotiations between divorcing spouses. It may also lead to increased conflict and hostility during an already challenging time. If one spouse has already liquidated a retirement account after filing for divorce, it's essential for the other spouse to seek legal counsel promptly. An experienced divorce attorney can advise you on the appropriate steps to take to address the situation and protect your interests moving forward. In some cases, the court may order the spouse who liquidated the retirement account to reimburse the other spouse for their share of the funds, or the distribution of other marital assets may be adjusted to offset the financial impact of the withdrawal. As we wrap up today's episode, it's pretty important to emphasize how open communication and cooperation between divorcing spouses needs to be there, especially when it comes to financial matters. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties. Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, my contact information is in the description. Please reach out to me. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Have a great day. Hello, and welcome back to Breaking Ties. Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to explore a critical topic for those considering divorce: the top 5 things to do in preparation for filing for divorce. Now, deciding to pursue divorce is a significant life decision that requires careful planning and preparation. Taking proactive steps can help mitigate stress and uncertainty throughout the divorce process. So, without further ado, let's dive into the top 5 things to do in preparation for filing for divorce. Number 1, you're going to want to gather financial documents. Before filing for divorce, it's essential to gather all relevant financial documents, including bank statements, tax returns, investment accounts, mortgage documents, and any other records detailing assets and liabilities. Having a comprehensive understanding of your financial situation will be invaluable during the divorce negotiations. Number 2, educate yourself about divorce laws. You're going to want to familiarize yourself with the divorce laws and procedures in your state or country. Understanding your rights, obligations, and options will empower you to make informed decisions throughout the divorce process. Consider consulting with a qualified divorce attorney to discuss your legal rights and receive personalized guidance. Number 3, consider your children's well-being. If you have children, their well-being should be a top priority during divorce proceedings. Take time to consider their emotional needs and how you can best support them through this challenging transition. Explore options for co-parenting arrangements and prioritize open communication with your co-parent for the sake of your children's stability and happiness. Number 4, you're going to want to build a support network. Going through a divorce can be emotionally taxing, so it's pretty significant to surround yourself with a supportive network of friends, family members, and professionals who can offer guidance, empathy, and encouragement. Consider joining a support group or seeking the guidance of a therapist to help navigate the emotional complexities of divorce. Number 5, we want to plan for your future. As you prepare for a divorce, it's essential to envision your future and establish clear goals for yourself. Take time to reflect on your values, priorities, and aspirations, and consider how you can work towards building a fulfilling and meaningful life post-divorce. Explore opportunities for personal growth, career advancement, and new experiences that align with your vision of the future. Wrapping up, the divorce process requires careful consideration, planning, and emotional resilience. By taking proactive steps to gather information, prioritize your children's well-being, build a support network, and plan for your future, you can navigate the divorce process with greater clarity, confidence, and empowerment. I'd like to thank you for checking in with us on this episode of Breaking Ties. Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions for me or on this topic or financial planning issues, just give me a shout. Give me a call, email, happy to help. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Take care. Hello, and welcome back to Breaking Ties. Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, and in today's episode, we're going to address a critical question that arises during and after the divorce process. Who pays for health insurance for the kids? Now, before we get started, I just want to say that I am a financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional, along with being divorced myself. So, with that, we're now going to kick into who pays for health insurance for the kids. Divorce involves not only the dissolution of marriage, but also the intricate task of navigating financial responsibilities, especially when kids are involved. When it comes to health insurance for children during and after the divorce, the answer really does vary depending on several factors, including things like the divorce agreement, state laws, and individual circumstances. In many cases, divorcing couples are required to address health insurance coverage for their children as part of the divorce settlement. This may involve determining which parent will be responsible for providing health insurance and how the costs will be divided. During the divorce process, parents may choose to maintain the children's existing health insurance coverage, especially if one parent already provides comprehensive coverage through an employer-sponsored plan. In situations where neither parent has access to affordable health insurance through an employer, they may need to explore alternative options, such as purchasing coverage through the health insurance marketplace or Medicaid. It's essential for divorcing parents to carefully review their health insurance options and consider the specific needs of their children, including coverage for medical expenses, prescriptions, and preventive care. Once the divorce is finalized, the terms of the divorce agreement or court order will dictate which parent is responsible for providing health insurance for the children and how the costs will be shared. In many cases, the non-custodial parent may be required to contribute to the cost of health insurance premiums as part of their child support obligations. These contributions are typically outlined in the child support order and may be adjusted to reflect changes in insurance premiums or the parent's financial circumstances. Now, it's important for divorcing parents to communicate openly and collaborate effectively when it comes to providing for their child's health insurance needs. This may involve discovering coverage options, sharing information about insurance plans, and coordinating medical appointments and expenses. Ultimately, ensuring that children have access to quality health insurance coverage is a shared responsibility that requires cooperation and commitment for both parents, even after the divorce is finalized. Concluding today's episode, remember that navigating health insurance issues during and after divorce can be complex, but with careful planning and communication, parents can work together to prioritize their children's well-being. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties. Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, have a great day.
We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Breaking Ties. Is Divorce the Answer? With Mike Fulkerson. For questions, please reach out to Mike via email in the description or give him a shout at 630-444-1410. And remember to subscribe, like, and follow.